My name is Lamin Jai, and this is News Review. Coming up on the show today, the IEC has postponed voter registration, a massive development there. The Commission is touting logistical challenges as the reason for why they are delaying the registration of Gambian voters ahead of next year, later this year, December's election. Sigawan Park today held a press conference more than a week after a photo showing him on the cross sparked outrage among Gambians. UDP's Oli Diba was supposed to be my guest today, but I'm afraid we have lost her to another commitment. UDP's spokesman Almami Tal will appear on the show to talk about the party's statement issued moments ago regarding the voter registration delay there and more. Before all of this, we will see what the papers are reporting on today. The Standard newspaper today is reporting that only National Assembly can revive draft constitution. That's a quote. I think they spoke to the Woolly West MP there, Sidia Jata. Late Kadi Judge's family demands justice over her mysterious death. Jaliba, I am neutral in Gambian politics. Gambian refugees express concern over resumption of deportation. Tamsir Jase claims 2006 coup leader Cham was hiding in Gambia. Some political leaders plan to sell the country to a criminal businessman. That's the president there. These comments were made over the weekend. Standard is also reporting on it today. IEC delays voter registration. That's the move there by the IEC late yesterday. So we will look at the stories in detail. The National Assembly member for Woolly West and founder member of the PDIS, Sidia Jata, has made it emphatically clear that only the parliament has the powers to revive the rejected draft constitution. Jase, or that's Tamsir Jase, claims 2006 coup leader Cham was hiding in Gambia. Tamsir Jase, a seasoned security expert and former U.S. soldier, yesterday appeared before the TRRC to give a riveting testimony on the 2006 failed coup in which he was implicated and jailed for helping ringleader Ndur Cham to escape. Jase, who also holds a U.S. citizenship, was released after civil rights defender Jesse Jackson visited the Gambia in 2013. I think it was in 2012. He told the TRRC that contrary to widespread belief, Ndur Cham has always stayed in the Gambia until his capture and subsequent summary execution. Some political leaders plan to sell the country to criminal businessmen. President Adam Barrow has disclosed that he is privy to the dealings of unnamed party leaders who connived with criminal businessmen to award them ministerial positions and exclusive contracts to import petroleum products if they took over the country. The president did not name any political leader, but today yesterday Mama Kande was responding to the president there, saying he's not a serious leader at all. Jaliba, I am neutral in Gambian politics. Renowned Gambian Kora player Jaliba Kuyate, often seen performing at political rallies of different political parties, has said that when it comes to Gambian politics, he is completely neutral. Yeah, let's see what point is saying today. Kachikali crocodiles starve of food as COVID-19 bites hard on tourism. Barrow claims party leaders deal with criminal business people. The point 2 is reporting on today. IEC postpones January voter registrations. Brikama orders hit by water shortage. So according to the point lead story there, $100 million bailout package disbursed among various actors within the tourism industry. Kachikali Crocodile Pool was not a beneficiary. Up to 100 crocodiles of the Kachikali Sacred Pool in Bakau are undergoing hard nutrition times as impact of COVID-19 pandemic bites down tourism sector, depriving the pool of needed tourist incomes. Brikama orders hit by water shortage. Community of Brikama, Busumbala and other villages in the West Coast region are experiencing days of acute water shortage, with the situation being blamed on the National Water and Electricity Company. That's NAWEC there. That's just about it for the newspapers. We will take a short break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. The Independent Electoral Commission has postponed voter registration. It was scheduled or billed to register Gambian voters starting next week on the 14th of January. But the Commission late yesterday announced that they will be suspending or delaying it until further notice. They did not advance any reason, any specific reason. All that they said was that logistical challenges was what sparked the move. Gambians have been speaking on this development there.
Claiming logistical challenges beyond its control, the Independent Electoral Commission, IEC, issued a press release on the postponement of the commencement of the General Registration of Voters 2021, which was scheduled for the 14th January 2021. The Electoral Commission added that the new date for voter registration will be announced in due course. The Fatu Network decided to set out this morning in an attempt to hear from the members of the general public to gather their reaction on the suddenness of the press release. Some of what they had to say included:
man de ci suma ki kaddu may ñom ñoo fa nek ñom ñoo xam lan lañ gis be lu tax ñu postpone ko ñun mo ñu to di leen xaar rek suñu wa election suba ñun paré pour dem du suba suñu kat yaangi ni yaangi dégg suñu suba paré nañ ko suñu né next year paré nañ ko ñu ngi tan top sen gannaaw ñom ñoo xam la mo sen politique IEC yo Adam Barrow yo ak képp ku mënta ci téggu yaangi dégg ñom ñoo xam lan mo tax ñu gis luñ gis bañu postpone ko waaye ñun xamuñ ci dara ñun ta ñu to fi xaar leen waaw ñun suñu fétal yaangi ni ku bëgga mu ngi ni ku bëggoon nag di lañ yor da ngay dégg
ndafe de o man kere mira ken o miro man ta kude kadi sila mol bebe yillarin ko carte fayo kananan bebe yillari o mala ko carte fayo kana say mbulata san konole say ni say te register fali ko mole ko register be ta fanyat o da san ka biyo kuma yamu nyanta fintla mol kane e kuma ko fo mole membe kere mol yalon folo sinala membe kere bad ni tol ko register nyorotale ya nyorondit o ko o miro man betea o miro mam mi ras cende ko soto jeede ba andor bebe yilaɗum ko jarnen carte silam bulata saw kono carte fayo kanale sa ni to le pousse mol be kala nyaade yo findi ko ma koy fo mole membe beeda hande
tane mom jolna votes card rek ñu préparer rek affaire yi voter lool rek la wa votes card yi azar amagut suñ ko joxe nit ñi mom nit ñi dañ vote do mëna vote amul votes card ok lool rek la ci gis man
suñ koy def den waroon na waxal ñepp ñu def ko waye suñ toogee rek ñu ne dañuy def sen décision loolu baaxut nen déggoo ak nit yi because démocratie la foog ñu déggoo du power bi jeex na léegi.
Another one of the speakers stated that
toñalo me sara ka fa mole ko voters card carte kese ñu no ni e ba sawonde lal ni nata sawonde yante wato fula kumi wato mi yalon ko ni wate kar ka tan ni mole ko nga sawonde ba ni wate kar bina carte voters card ni no kala mobe se prepare kamar because singina saw carte kan taka fay min man carte su de sa ngi juna fo sa carte fe ya wato wala mon tala ko moti esente wato dilale to nyaale ngende sarra ni ba cancel ba ni ya cancel fa pareta sa wato di molla ngende le finte kankularo fana wato mi yalon ko mol be ta kram ta ko enda voters card ni no kala ni wate kar ni lunkar mobe se prepare kamar because ngina saw fe sa carte fa o manke fende nyante wo nyama pre saro di mo bani mo mon inform fana esa findi ko take fana kankularo di mo la ko ni wati kare mba vodas kare nyuno kelale mo be se prepare kamala nsa carte kase nyuno ke because ngina son carte fayo bakela abakela anda ta bay ngina son fonsa carte fay ne ale banko di minna ala sa banko ko wata nga bulo mario no momo wintan ton no wolom.
Another speaker who wished to keep her identity anonymous added this.
They weren't conducting it. They have the reason why they are postponing it. They should have come out plain, at least tell the public that it is because of this. Whether you don't have enough people to come in to assist to do the work, whatever is the problem, it is better you say it out. Because to be transparent, it is good before man and before God. So that is what we prefer. And I think the general public will like that. Because when you suspend somebody, you put somebody in the air thinking, what is next? What is happening? And definitely that is not correct for a human mind. It would be better at least they say why, this is the reason of it. Then no problem. Everybody will understand and back them up. Amen.
While out conducting our interviews, we noticed how uninformed people seem to be about voter registration in general, which could perhaps lead to the question, are people as sensitized as they should be? Reporting for the Fatu Network's News Review, I am Mudi Wangam. Claiming logistical...
Do you want to win millions of dollars this December? All you have to do is dial *777# for free or call or SMS 1010 at $3 is only to participate in the new AfriHali show and be part of the 7 daily winners.
Every Tuesday, Wednesday and Fridays live on GRTS, Afri Radio and social media platforms. Be part of our lucky winners.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
One Park today held a press conference to formally apologize to Gambians there. The singer put himself in trouble more than a week ago when a photo of him emerged appearing on the cross, which sparked anger among Gambians. More in this report.
By Musa Seka, commonly known as One Park, held a press conference today after a picture circulating on social media of him being crucified on the cross. According to One Park, he is out today to formally apologize to all Gambians.
I would deem it as a disturbing picture or offensive or irritating picture or post of mine, but the intention and how people were about to condemn the thing, and both the thing and myself was just not how it is meant for, and I mean the intention of posting that picture or doing that photo is not about bringing any caricature or mockery form to my opposite faith. This is not the Park you know before, and this is a kind of rebirth. Rebirth person. I can say even I'm a Messiah even. Yeah, when I don't know or whatsoever. Because seriously, Sally, I'm a caller to good.
He added he was not trying to imitate Jesus.
At all my interviews, man, I'm not saying I was like Jesus, I'm like Jesus, or I was imitating Jesus. I was the sinner and the criminal and the offender that was, offending people on not godly acts but worldly acts, became a sinner that was crucified and with no hope but to go back to the Most High and feel that the Messiah of that God is right next to him, whom was calling to salvation that he was answering to or willing to answer to. There he was promised, and accepted by Jesus himself, that he is welcome by responding to his salvation call that he was calling. That was misinterpreted by the hypocrites on his generation, translated to the supreme leaders of the phrases that lead to his crucifixion. You get me? By interpreting his message and callings, he was calling to people to come to salvation and to come to the godly ways and choose godly ways and let the worldly idolic worship they were doing. You get me? That led to Jesus' crucifixion. But the next man around and beside him was the sinner that I see myself as. And I really want to change. And he want to change. And he accepted the change that Jesus was calling. Jesus tell him that, yo, you welcome, you most welcome. It is highly appreciated and accepted by us or by God. I promise, and I'm steadfast, I promise we will dine. I will dine and fast with you in heaven. But not I, point of correction, not I said in my and onto my initial live videos or interviews that I was Jesus. Yeah. I'm not Jesus. I'm not even close to Jesus. I was the next guy beside Jesus, and that was prefaced before this session onto my personal videos and whatever I was doing.
One Park said Mam Jara Production and QCell sponsored his flyer, but later backed off after the negative comments on social media.
Production.
They made the flyer.
They made the flyer.
And now condemned you again.
That's what I see as what you're saying. I just feel like I was just the misunderstood one by QCell and QCell or Q Group team of whatsoever they might call themselves, Mohammed Jah to the down last man. You get me? I was just interpreted and misunderstood by them, and the time they were understanding, it was like kind of late.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was too late for them to understand, and it was like, they hold too much pride and to withdraw that statement.
And they were protecting their brand.
And they were protecting their brand and their businessmen. One has to understand that I can say, okay, their moves and steps can avenge my anger of not being just, towards me. But still, I deem it fit that there's a lot of work that I should, be doing, or I got to do just to make them understand. I don't have to judge them. I don't have to be judgmental onto their judgments or conclusion or quickly decision being taken on me. To avenge my anger or to challenge or or to disrespect them or whatsoever.
I think, just to cut it short, Park, they don't understand art, basically.
No, what I mean, and yeah, they left that part behind, that I'm an artist. You get me? But for Q City and Q Cell, whatsoever cell they may be, I just pray them together to get this godly and mutual understanding and reasoning before they will jump to conclusion. But this doesn't have to do with nothing demising my career. It doesn't do nothing that will be sabotaging my career. It just gives me more courage that I can do it, and I'll watch somebody and something that, In fact, if I die, I believe there will be, public holiday, national mourning. Yeah. I'm having Mohammed just number for now, and the reason that I was like relenting on taking that move was, I deem it fit and satisfying by the Christian community, which has to be reaching to him directly and been promised or been given a promise of they will let go the ban or the sanction, so-called sanction of me being playing or being part of any show that they. Man, I don't care about QCell or Q City. You get me? I got the stadium in my town, Bakau. I'm bigger than QCell and Q City. You get me? But this is a kind of disrespecting. You get me? When they said they are defending the Christian community, yet still the same Christian community and their high supreme representatives, have to even call them. Say, if at all this is the reason you want to demise someone in the name of our religion is not out to demise or to destroy people, but it's to enhance and give chance to people. You get me? So if at all this act is being condemned for our sakes, we are forgiving and we are appreciating one pack, and we love him and we forgive him. So we will asking you, Q City and QT, I don't know, QQ guys, whatever. You get me? That let the boy play his show. And they promise to give back a call to the Christian community or the council or the Christian agents that were, talking to them, which they haven't done. So it's like they have less respect for the Christian even. You know what I mean? If I had to talk about this QTV and Q City issue, Gambia, we have to stop having favorites and stop this favorism act of defending the lies when it comes to the truth. You get me? But the condemnation with that Q City people even is like, I don't know him. I don't have no bitter experience with none of those members repping Q City or Q Cell. You get me? So, and at the end of the day, I see them like they said to your boss. You get me? It means we own it, Gambia. And the initiators and the founders, the CEO, even the owners are Gambian. But yet still, we having, non-Gambians, I'm looking after Gambians and not taking part to the demises of Gambian hustle or Gambian youths empowering or Gambian women. But all this Q City is not, in fact, I'm saying it. Read my lips. Q City, you are not good people. It's crazy, If you see, I even let go that part and everything about Maham Jara production and Q Cell, man, the whole country is like seeing what's happening. So it is not necessary for me to come, like, you know what I mean, stepping on that issue hardly. You get me? Because there are some issues, you just let the wise read the minds and let the wise be the judge of certain issues, you get me?
Yeah. However, he has this to say to the government.
Government has to facilitate people, you get me, to reach out to the streets, you get me? Because you have more crime rates going on in Gambia now, more than anything, like, you get me? Every day you have maybe 5-10 cases of, you know what I mean, major crime offensives, you get me? But you cannot send a driver to a, you cannot send a driver to a chef, you get me? Only a ninja can stop a ninja, you get me? So this is like Gambia, and the Gambian government is like, you know what I mean, know whom you know, not what you know, you get me? To be honest, they have to facilitate these people, you get me? Because some will be, hey, these people inside are good people, believe me. They just fall into traps or been, you know what I mean, victimized onto the circumstances and the situation they've seen themselves. But if they are given a chance, I swear to God, the government's even work would be, you know what I mean, less, because they're gonna take the measure, you get me? For me, those are the people I call family, friends, mates, you get me? Calibers, kinds, type, and they're all responding to me. And I really inspire some of them. They want to change. They want to have a wife like me. They want to have love like me or more than me. They want to be more than me or like me.
Bai Musa Seka finally advised the youth.
But for now, I think I'm the right candidate to reach out the streets and to change the streets. And I will never relent till I see that change on the streets. You get me? So I don't feel even complete, like having a good life or starting to toast to the good life without my mates have been and done their way, been left on the streets and still doing the same awful, you know what I mean, deeds and wrongs and acts and felonies they were committed or allegedly been alleged of doing and been tried or incarcerated or, you know what I mean, convicted, remanded, you know what I mean, detained and all that. These are all bad, you know what I mean, for both of us who are doing the act and to our friends and beloved ones and generally to our families, you get me? We have names that we bear, you get me? This is Joben, this is Second, Janyen, you, Bojang. Man, when one Seka disrespect, the Seka disrespect, I represent the whole Seka clan. If the one Seka has been progressed, the whole Seka clan will be, you know, I mean, proud of him or her. You get me? But the government has to really, really look into these matters. You know what I mean? Not to change their offices only, but to change the life of the youth. You know what I mean? And to give chance to the life of the youth to put on street for positive change and reformation.
For the Fatini Walk News Review, I am Mati Senghor.
Tough Africa Global presents the new Tulip Gardens. Tough Tulip Gardens is set to comprise service plots in sizes ranging from 220 to 570 meters square. Deposit as low as $83,600 is only an 18-month interest-free payment plan with only 20% deposit on the service plots. Please contact 376-2333 or 776-2333. Free. Tough.
Welcome back, and I am joined by the spokesman of United Democratic Party, Alma Metal. Actually, I was supposed to have the Deputy Administrative Secretary of the party, Madam Oli Dibawada, but we regret that we have lost her to another engagement. Now I'll be joined by the spokesman of the party. It's going to be our first interview since their Congress last year. Thank you very much, Mr. Tal, for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Njai, for having us, and I'm so glad that serendipitously I am here today. I remember coming here just a few days before Congress, so we are very pleased that the new year has started this way.
Yes, I know your impressive moment there, the Congress, the event and how it all played out. You churned out your new leadership. Dabo returned as leader of the party. One would see this coming, right? The fact that Dabo has been returned as UDP's leader.
It was not predetermined. It was a democratic process, and I think his quality of leadership has impressed the delegates to Congress, and there have been new additions to the party, and we have, for the first time in the history of the Gambia, a woman national president in the name of Aji Yamonda Yabo. So really, we have had a very successful Congress, and the delegates determine the pace, the tempo of Congress, and we are very satisfied with the outcome, and those of us who were privileged to be returned to our offices are very grateful to the delegates and members of the United Democratic Party.
Now, one thing, we need to clear this up. You were churned as the Administrative Secretary, Legal Affairs, but you are also spokesman of the party. But you have an Administrative Secretary, Media and Communication. So how come you have what would look like two spokesmen for one political party?
Well, there is one spokesperson, there is one Administrative Secretary for Media and Communication. What happened with the spokesperson? This is a position that is appointed by the executive of the United Democratic Party. So even when I was appointed as party spokesman, I was not in the executive as an administrative secretary. But in Congress 2018, I was elected as party admin secretary for legal and human rights affairs. So it is not so much as two spokesperson. Media, especially new media, moves at a very fast pace, and you need a whole apparatus to respond in real time to some of these movements. But whenever the party has a statement to give, whenever the party has a press conference to organize, it is the spokesperson who reaches out to the media outlets and channels and present the party position. And this can go across all the party issues, from health, human rights, from finance to other aspects of it. So it's not, I mean, I think a party like us, we need a lot more, especially in the new media sector, so that we can keep up with your very fast-moving questions, as well as your very high demand for instantaneous responses.
Now let's talk about the issue of having newcomers within UDP making it to the executive, the national executive.
Yes. I am a newcomer to UDP, relatively speaking, but that is the nature of things. If you can prove your worth and your value to the party, and the delegates, most importantly, have confidence in you, even if you join UDP today, you are at the same status with Mr. Ousainou Darboe, the party leader and Secretary General of the party. As far as the party is concerned, every individual member who has met all the membership criteria is entitled to and is eligible to stand for any elective office of the party. So there is not much there. It's a democratic organization, and we are talking about unifying Gambians.
I will ask you two more questions on the issue of your Congress. One has to do with the leader of the Ahmadis praying at the Congress. That sparked a lot of furor. A lot of people condemned that, said, okay, in a mainstream Muslim event, you invite an Ahmadi leader to pray there. And you were the MC, if you like, of the event.
Yeah.
And I have engaged some members of your party, and what I have been told is that this was an error on the part of the master of ceremony, which he later tried to correct. Was this an error on your part?
It was not an error. The Ahmadis are Gambian, they are Muslims, they call themselves Muslims. We are not having a religious gathering at the Congress. Congress comes every 2 years. We ask for the prayers and the blessings of the event. There was no congregational prayer. We asked for Christian prayers. We asked for Muslim prayers. We ask for all prayers so that our program, our activity, happens in peace. Anybody suggesting that it was an error or it was a mistake, obviously is not aware of what goes into. They were invited like all religious denominations, and quite frankly, we don't know which prayer is going to be answered. And we don't presume to speak between faiths. We are a political party, and we believe we are the majority political party. Therefore, every Gambian of every religious denomination is entitled to offer prayers to the United Democratic Party. I hope that we will be more tolerant to others who are not professing our own version of Islam, and make sure that when we deal with issues of faith, we are very measured and we stop trying to be intolerant or to become bigoted one way or the other. I think the Ahmadi community in the Gambia has been in the service of the Gambia for a very long time. They have schools here, they have medical facilities here, and and the prayer was done from the Quran. It was based on Ibrahim's prayer. And, you know, I really just don't understand why 1 minute of prayer for peace and for proceedings to be successful became such a divisive and polarizing point. I really don't understand this Gambia, because I was born in a Gambia where people go to Christian schools, they learn Christian hymns. Really, this was an biannual political gathering, and we invited every religious denomination in the Gambia. Only the Amir of the Ahmadi community showed up. And that prayer he offered was, as far as we can see, based on the rakas and the ayahs of the Quran. So really, I don't think there is any issue there.
But was this the official standpoint of your party, inviting the leader of the Ahmadi to pray at the UDP's Congress?
No, there is no official standpoint. Yes. We were starting the proceedings of the Congress. That was the opening ceremony. Yes. And we asked for Christian prayer. In fact, some people also said that it was an error to ask the Christians to pray first before the Muslim prayer. And the Muslims said that it's also an error to ask somebody who professed the Ahmadi faith to pray for the gathering. Mm-hmm. Really, I mean, the party does not have a position on this. I'm explaining here very clearly that Gambia is a multicultural, multi-faith nation, and all Gambians are entitled, and the constitution is very clear. There should be no discrimination whatsoever as far as religion is concerned. So really, thereafter, every session we had was led by prayer by the, by the Sunni Muslim imams leaders who were there. So really, I really don't understand why, even after 2-3 weeks, with all the problems that are happening in the Gambia, around the world, some people choose to fixate on that. I really don't understand.
Unfortunately, that is our country. And what much it has also done, we have seen the other side, NPP surrogates, politicizing this issue, saying, I have even listened to the radio and had NPP surrogates speaking on the radio on their NPP hour saying UDP is planning to, value Ahmadis more than Muslims when they take power. Not just that, what we have seen an MP, a whole elected MP, spoke on this issue, saying that what you did at your Congress was that you are going to give greater prominence to Ahmadis than Muslims when you form government, suggesting that Ahmadis are apart from Muslims.
I mean, this kind of nonsense, I don't think we should even spend any minute trying to debunk it, because nonsense is like that. I mean, how can anybody sit in their right mind on radio and say rubbish like that. Quite frankly, Mr. Njai, I really don't want to talk about what people say on their platform. It's so meaningless. It's so foolish for us to spend any time talking about this. You know, we ask for someone to pray for a minute, and you start talking about all these things. What Gambians are interested in my opinion, is that they want to have water, they want to have reasonable electricity, they want to have internet, and these are things that are not happening. All we hear from the NPP is talking about things that are completely devoid from reality. You hear it every day, and really, I did not come to Fatu Network this evening to try and debunk nonsense. Nonsense is always, the best place to put it is in the garbage can. Is of no consequence, is of no moment. We have had a successful Congress, regardless of some of the mistakes and missteps that happen in the arrangements and the logistics and some of the challenges which are part and parcel of voluntary organizations like this. We had a very, very good Congress. We had a very wonderful post-Congress rally.
But yeah, I was coming to that. At the rally, the power mess that happened there. I mean, the stage, what much we received, the reports are that, okay, it was the generator. Or it was, you have some who were claiming that it was Nawek that was deliberately sabotaging your rally.
It was the generator. It was not Nawek at all. It was the generator, and I think we were able to sort out those logistics also.
But also what it did, it dealt a blow to the speech of your leader there. Dabo at some point had to stand from the roof of his car to finish speaking.
At all times he was standing on the stage.
Yes.
We managed. I mean, we thought the speech was excellent, and it was well received, and it was well delivered. So really, I think these human hitches, if you have them in an organization, it's a sign that we are not claiming perfection or that everything will work according to plan. But the important thing is that we have serious plans for this country, and we had our party leader explicitly explain every point from youth empowerment to agricultural transformation. All of these are things that we believe Gambians are more interested in getting more information about that rather than this fine picking that goes on in some of these political discussions.
Now, away from that, yesterday evening, the IEC announced, I'm sure your party was written too, that it is delaying or postponing the voter registration. They had initially set the next week, 14th of January, to commence this very cumbersome exercise. Now they are touting logistical challenges. I tried to personally speak to the chairman of the commission today, but I was rebuffed. They say they are not speaking any further than their very terse press release. I mean, your party issued a statement just moments ago saying it is totally unacceptable. As the party, I mean, did you see this, the issue of this very important process getting delayed?
Elections are extremely important. Electoral reforms for us as a party. We lost Solo Sandeng because he went out to demand constitutional and electoral reforms. So we take elections very seriously because they have consequences. And we have already started reaching out to our colleagues and other stakeholders within the election process. On Thursday, inshallah, we'll try to have common ground among the political parties to make sure that this unacceptable behavior from institutions established by law, institutions funded and managed by public finance, are doing their job. That is all that Gambians expect from the IEC and institutions like it. Yes. You cannot come out with a message 2-3 weeks ago that this is my calendar of events and activities. You get everybody mobilized, everybody put their resources together to make sure that this process is not only credible, but it's transparent and it is going to be fair for everybody involved. All of a sudden, out of the blue, you came out with that TAS statement, if I may use your word, and say that until further notice. I mean, were you not aware of the logistical issues involved when you were setting the dates? Are you not aware that we are in an election year? It's like the institution is displaying for the whole of the country how really badly run it is, if not outrightly incompetent, because this is unacceptable. You voluntarily give us notice that, look, I'm going to start the registration process this day, this day, this day, in this manner. Yes. And out of the blue, without consulting anybody, you come out with this statement. The media wants to talk to you, you say you don't want to talk to the media. What's going on?
Did you, as political stakeholders, did you try to find out from them when they sent you a letter indicating or informing you that they are no longer proceeding with voter registration until further notice? Further notice, nobody on this earth knows when that is. Did you try to reach out to them?
We are reaching out to them here on this platform because the letter probably got to us this morning. And by the time that all of this broke out, we tried to talk to each other, the main stakeholders, that, look, this is no longer a question of finding out, because this reform process, a lot of people think that it is just between last month and this month. This has been going on since 2019. I remember very late in 2019, the EU sent a delegation of consultants to come with, I think, 21 recommendations about the electoral climate. We had a validation meeting at Ocean Bay with the IEC and all the other political parties at that validation about the tenure of the chairman, the tenure of the commission, and a lot of other reforms that they believe could not only improve the electoral experience for the Gambia, but is going to give credibility to the whole process. Yeah. That was followed by the IEC's own work nationwide to try and get opinion from the people about ballot or marble voting. There was a workshop in 2020. I think this was just on the eve of the COVID crisis. The former Attorney General, Honorable Batambedu, was at that 2 days conference. Yes. And we discussed about the opportunities and the prospects for ballot paper as well as the marble, and even samples of the ballot paper were circulated. I attended that consultation, myself and Yakumba Jaite, the National Assembly member. We were promised at that consultation, I believe it was in March, that the bill will come to the National Assembly as early as June of 2020. That did not happen. In September 2020, we had an order consultation at the Sadara Kairaba International Conference Center, just around the same time when the Constitution was being discussed by Parliament. Again, we had confirmation about the new electoral process, and everybody was expressing concern about time and logistics. Will the IEC be able to do this? Civil society was very, very adamant that, you know, diaspora should vote, and other processes should be there to empower and make the voting process very transparent. So a lot of time, a lot of resources have been expended on this whole reform process. But alas, with all our reforms since the beginning of this government, we have gotten worse and worse outcomes and results as a result of institutional failure and institutional degeneration, in my humble opinion. Yes. We really believe that it is now for every Gambian, for every political party, to stand up and be counted and demand that our institutions are effectively delivering on their mandate, the mandate that the law has invested in them. This is why we are calling on all our colleagues in the political arena to come together and provide a united front against this kind of recklessness and this kind of endangerment of our republic.
And in your statement signed by your leader, Ousainou Darboe, what you said was, it is totally unacceptable that changes to the electoral process are being shifted without due process and not in consultation with political parties and relevant stakeholders. So you are saying that you are accusing the IEC of shifting, well, making changes to the electoral process without due process.
But this is the evidence. This is what is happening. Your own Vox Populi went around, and nobody has been consulted. As a political party, we have not been consulted. So really, at the end of the day, civil society is also a major stakeholder in this as observers of the electoral process. I mean, a lot of our international partners have invested resources and time in trying to get us an electoral program that is credible, that is inspiring confidence. But this is what you get for tanks. You at the 11th hour, logistical problems. What are these? The people have a right to know what these logistical problems are. Most importantly, what are the conditions that, in the first place, ask you to announce? If you have problems, sit down, preferably with the stakeholders, and say, look, we want to announce these dates, but these are our challenges here and now. How do we maneuver around them? That way, people will have a buy-in, they will have the readiness and say, okay, these are genuine concerns, these are legitimate constraints. Let us see how we can help our own institution to do these things as transparently and as fairly as possible.
One thing this move has also done, that was a spillover effect, if you like. I mean, while people are trying to find answers to this move, then boom, the appointment of a new deputy chairman or vice chairman of the commission, Mr. Oremi Joyner. I was able to confirm with the IEC that the presidency last week wrote to the IEC informing them of the decision to appoint Mr. Oremi Joyner as the new deputy chairman following the resignation sometime last year of Male, or retirement, if you like, of Male. You reacted to this too, and what you said in your statement is that the UDP condemns the illegality of this appointment as a violation of and contravention of Section 42(5)(c) of the 1997 Constitution of the Gambia. You are a lawyer. What does this section say when it comes to
it says that any person who is affiliated with a political party, not only presently, in the last 2 years, for example, I would never be qualified to be appointed to any position in the IEC. Maybe after I retire from politics after an extended period of time. So what the section says is very clear. If you are associated with the executive of any political party or any organization that puts up candidates for elections, within 2 years of that association, you shall not be eligible to be appointed as a commissioner of the IEC.
Is Mr. Oremi Joyner affiliated or associated with any political party or grouping or organization?
We believe so. That is the...
But do you know whether this is the fact, this is the truth?
Yes.
Before coming up with such a statement?
Absolutely, yes.
What evidence do you have?
There is a list of members of the NPP Banjul executive, and he is one of them.
He is one of them?
Yes.
Well, thank you. Well, let's also talk briefly. What we have seen is that the president has been moving around the town, around the country. The nationwide tour continues. And these reports of Darboe also embarking on this tour, wherever Barrow lives, Darboe will go there. What is going on in terms of the small tour, if you like, of your party, UDP?
We are not undertaking any tour. I mean, we have every right to hold our rallies now that the state of public emergency no longer exists. Yes. But we know that the UDP is a national party. We have invitations in areas of people wanting the party leader to go to their area. Yes. This is something that we cannot control. Yes. It so happened that the president is doing a constitutionally mandated activity, but everybody now accepts as a fait accompli that this is a political campaign that President Barrow has been engaging on, going everywhere and saying all kinds of things, promising people all kinds of things, telling them that they should not be opposition. He told the people of Kiang because now they have electricity. And that kind of politics no longer satisfy Gambians or electorates anywhere. They want performance. They want you to deliver them a quality of life, a quality of education, a quality of living standard that is comparable to their neighbors. We see the progress that our neighbors, Senegal, Ghana, Nigeria, all of these countries are doing extremely well because their leaders are performing to the expectation of the citizens. Elections are coming. If you don't perform, Donald Trump has learned this the hard way. He lost. I mean, if elections come and people are satisfied with your performance, you will win. But if they are not, they will boot you out.
One thing I really need to ask this. I know Mama Kande was the first yesterday became the first politician to react to that, to respond to the president. The president made some very serious allegations over the weekend that there are political leaders in the country. And in this case, it would appear that he's talking about the opposition, those that are, well, a lot of people. I've seen Freedom's report that, in fact, he was referring to UDP. But this report that some political leaders are conniving, scheming with criminal business people to sell off the nation. What is UDP's reaction to this?
Again, like I said many times, the presidency is a very serious institution. It's actually the chief law enforcement institution. If the presidency has information of criminal behavior, it's a responsibility, it's a constitutional imperative that they should report this to the law enforcement offices. Standing on political platforms, when you are supposed to be meeting the people's store according to the Constitution and saying things like this, I mean, it's so embarrassing, it's so humiliating that this is what our politics has become. If you know a criminal is behaving, anywhere you see somebody trying to steal or attack somebody, people go and help themselves and try to stop criminality. Least of all, the head of state and the president of the country, they are talking like somebody who is at a Campe Place or somebody who is at a marketplace. This is not a serious thing. I mean, it's so ridiculous that we don't even have time to respond to these kind of things. Seriously, I mean, how does a country move forward if you have the president spending all his time in this kind of pettiness, in this kind of petty talking all over the country on issues that are completely irrelevant to the concerns of the Gambia?
How is your calendar going to look like, UDP? I mean, I know it's going to be a very grueling year for the country, for all the political parties. But how is it going to look like?
It's going to be very purposeful. It's designed to respond to the aspirations of the Gambians. It is hopefully going to present a credible alternative to this discredited government. It is going to be premised on policies and principles that can actually transform this country. And we are so eager to get the opportunity and the privilege to serve this country. That is why when we started this conversation, at every level, we want to respond on point. Yes. And we want to respond as clearly and as believably as possible. Because the time for throwing words around and sitting at places and just accusing people falsely and saying things that every Gambian knows that the Janneh Commission report had some very, very serious adverse findings. The Faraba Banta report, similarly. Recently, the governor of the central bank was illegally removed from his office. I mean, if you look at the scorecard of this government, it's unbelievable. Any Gambian, serious Gambian, would want to even engage with this government the way they are doing politics. So our calendar is going to be about the people. The UDP is about politics of service, it's about politics of purpose, to make sure that this country moves away from these doldrums that it has been living in for the last 4 years. We need real change for once, so that everybody can feel like this is the country that we wanted. This is the country we had rescued from dictatorship. This is the country that people have died for. The TRRC is saying that by July they will come with their report. We are eagerly waiting for that, because every day, almost every testimony tells you the glorious fight that UDP members and Gambians have been doing against dictatorship, and from all walks of life. It doesn't matter what your station or educational attainment is. People have fought and died so that this country is rescued, this country is managed properly for the interest of the majority and for the interest of everybody.
I'll ask you one final question, which has to do with, well, you just talked about the reforms, the TRS, the draft constitution. When the president addressed the nation at the end of the year, what he said was, all hope is not lost, quote unquote. And he said there will be another, with emphasis, another draft at an appropriate time. What is UDP's position on this? Because the president said another draft. That is what he said. I mean, one might ask, what is he talking about?
Yeah, really, what is he talking about? Because what has happened, there was a deliberate sabotage of the will of the Gambian people in September. And we sometimes want to trivialize that. There was a process that was undergone. A lot of people talk about the cost. But really, this is also like a slap on the sovereign rights of Gambian citizens. People were consulted nationwide, internationally, and by and large, they have given their views as to how they want to be governed. Every constitution is about the future. In that future, it is for the people again to say, yes, this is what we want, or this is what we do not want. But as soon as the constitution was submitted to the president, almost on a daily basis, the Standard newspaper, drip by drip, is expressing the displeasure of cabinet over this provision, over that provision. And you heard some National Assembly members repeat, as if they are zombies, the same kind of talk that this term limit. Yes. Nobody has a two-term limit. Yes. The president should be worried about whether he will have a second term. This is not unusual. This guy, Donald Trump, has just demonstrated to the world that if you don't perform, the people have a right to kick you out. So for us, our position is very clear. There is a draft constitution that the Gambians wanted. It is again for them to say yes or no. Bring this constitution to a referendum. It's a simple matter. So to go on national television and say all hope is not lost, that kind of weak statement, another draft, or even for that matter, this fruitless visit of former president of Nigeria, Jonathan. These are the kind of processes that just waste the time of a country like Gambia. This is a low-income, small country. We have so many things that we need to attend to urgently. And instead of that, we are having, one step back, 1 step forward, 10 steps back. So that kind of situation has led us to say that, look, let us get on with the electoral process. After that, we will bring back the constitution that the Gambians want and put it to them for a vote in a referendum as soon as possible. As far as another draft constitution is concerned, that has to be sanctioned either by the National Assembly, because even the draft constitution process started with the CRC Act of 2017. So really, any process that is going to happen now, any framework that they are thinking of, must start at the National Assembly. And obviously, we are a progressive party. We will look at all the options. We are not ruling anything out, but clearly what the Gambians have voted for, what the Gambians have spent their hard-earned money on, is a constitution that broadly gets support across the spectrum.
Spokesman Almami Tall, thank you very much for coming. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. That's the spokesman there of the United Democratic Party, which brings us to the end of today's show. Thank you. We'll be back tomorrow. Goodbye.